Hi, I'm Major Kinsley Jordan, the Chief of Innovation for the 71st Flying Training Wing Spark Cell. I'm very excited to share several things that we're working on here at Vance that have helped to streamline the efficiency and effectiveness of our training, not only now, but in the future to come. One of the things our leadership saw as crucially important was to establish our wing and group spark cells to enable the process of innovative ideas flowing smoothly all the way from our student pilots to our instructors and on to our wing leadership. Now, the way this is broken out was to establish a group and a wing spark cell, and these are two very different but important roles to each other. Now, our group spark cell has the responsibility of taking ideas from student pilots and instructors there in the squadron, converting those ideas into potential technical solutions and processes, researching technologies that exist which could help further this idea, and developing that into a useful technology and process that fits our mission here at Vance. The final piece is to deliver that technology and process into the hands of our training, OGT, and our standardization, OGV, making sure that it is implemented correctly in our training and standardization across all of our squadrons. The Wing Spark Cell has a slightly different role. The Wing Spark Cell focuses on the networking across multiple UPT bases and the commercial industry, creating important relationships which help to identify cutting-edge technologies which could best be utilized in working on these Spark Cell projects. They also organize appropriate funding for the projects and manage the timeline expectation of when projects will be complete and delivered. That is also at the core of the Spark Cell. Finally, the Wing Spark Cell has the responsibility to find what yes looks like. With the revolution of innovation that has been taking place, old paradigms have been at the center of many of the restrictions that we've come up against and run into. By looking and having the ability to ask why and posing potential alternative solutions, our Wing Spark Cell has been able to find the yes answer to many of the projects that were once, at one point in time, thought impossible, not only to start, but even to complete. And that is the exciting part. See, at Vance, the first groundbreaking project after setting up the Spark Cell was to establish a government-procured commercial Wi-Fi network across our operations group complex. Now, this network is not tied to the AFNet in any capacity. Any instructor or student has the ability to log on to this network via their electronic flight bag or even their personal device. This open and unrestricted network is to encourage our instructors and students to find the best practice and training materials and resources that exist to aid in the efficiency and the effectiveness of our training. Now, following the establishment of the Wi-Fi, we asked ourselves, is there a better way of utilizing these training resources that are available out there right now? And why can't we get those into the hands of students earlier and capitalize on that training? This led to the creation of Phase 0 training. Now, this Phase 0 beta test is a prerequisite training to the syllabus, which allows the utilization of commercial off-the-shelf academics, like Sporty's Aviation and Bold Method, to be used more efficiently and effectively in teaching our aerodynamic and weather courses. Even before a student shows up here at Vance, they'll be able to receive an email that gives them access to these courses and the opportunity to validate them upon arrival right here at Vance. Now, what if they're already here at Vance, you may ask? Well, if they're here at Vance, they can complete those web-based courses at their leisure prior to the start of pilot training and finalize their courses with a CSI-led review to ensure that all of the learning objectives and training material has been complete. Our CSI instructors have reviewed these courses and have identified numerous parallels between our training, and the commercial off-the-shelf courses. Now, the military-specific portions of these courses, which we all know exist, still need to be taught and are instructed through 10-minute module-based CSI instructional videos as a type of military top-off to the commercial off-the-shelf academics. This is still accessible to the students on demand and on command. During Phase 0, the hands-on portion of aerospace physiology will also be accomplished when the students arrive here at Vance. The efficiency of this Phase 0 beta test eliminates 7.5 hours of required CSI first exposure instruction per UPT class and allows those CSIs that previously would have been teaching in the classroom to complete 3 more SIM events during that time. The utilization of video recorded academics in Phase 0 was actually a small part of a project we were already working on in Phase 1 with CSI video instructed academics. And it's no surprise our CSI instructors spend hours in the classroom teaching first exposure T6 academics. Our students also spend hours upon hours clicking through CAIs that are pretty antiquated. Now, our thought with the CSI video, Recorded Academics, was to take the most pertinent information from both the CSI-led instruction and CAIs and give it to the students in a palatable 10-minute modular video format, allowing them to watch and rewatch the video lessons that are more engaging from our instructors whenever they want to. Not only does this allow us to teach timely and important information from our best instructors every time, but it also allows our CSI instructors to do what they do best and utilize their talents in the simulators while the videos are teaching the first exposure lessons to the students. Now, we realize there's important value in having teachers in the classroom, and that's why we still utilize the CSIs to conduct review lessons at the end of each modular section, ensuring students have the opportunity to ask any questions to validate any of their knowledge or anything that they've seen. Not only do these instructional videos create the best instructional learning environment in the hands of our students, but it also helps our CSI manning by giving CSIs 27.5 hours back per UPT class, enabling them to accomplish 12 more simulator events than before. Now, we're expecting this goodness of efficiency and effectiveness to be complete by mid-January with all T6 academics, and we plan to be complete with T1 and T38 academics by the end of May 2019. Now, by placing these instructional academic videos in the hands of Phase 1, 2, and 3 students, we enable a complete streamlined process of all of our pilot training academics. Also working in Phase 1, we've been working EFB testing across multiple different avenues. Now, we issued our Class 1918 EFBs, and their instructors were also issued EFBs. 3 different Pathfinders we're working in this platform is, first, to see if we can eventually get to the place where you can bring your own device. Now, we realize that only a few devices have been flight tested, but by giving the students the enterprise solution and then opening it up and seeing the possibility of giving them an iPad 4 mini, which is flight tested and approved, and putting it in a flight tested case, if it was their personal device, we believe we may be able to get to the point where you can use your personal device in flight, and that's one of the things we're testing. Also, we're looking at the ability of a restricted versus unrestricted EFB solution. Now, right now, our testbed Class 1918 has the enterprise solution of EFBs, but the next step that we're working on is leaving this unrestricted format where they can access anything and everything, and it's as though that iPad has been given to them as theirs, almost straight out of the box, without any MDM solution applied to it. This gives us the ability to truly make this organic learning environment where instead of restrictions, we actually allow the students to access anything and everything that could be a good learning resource. And finally, the last piece we're looking at is the utilization of EFB training. Now, when we gave our Class 1918 EFBs and their instructors, it was an opportunity to see how effective is EFB training to that student. This gives them the ability to have all of their publications, all of their training, all of their CAIs and everything on that EFB, no longer having to wait on the dependability of the AFNet to be able to get it, but instead being able to utilize it and grab it on their own personal device, which is absolutely awesome. Some developers down at Randolph have already created an app, a courseware app, that allows you to access CAIs right there on your iPad. The cool part about this, in utilizing it with our EFB Pathfinder program, has been students can access their CAIs not only on the EFB, but also on their personal devices at home, truly giving them an on-demand and on-command learning experience. Within Phase 1 and 2, our students are going to be able to have access to our 16 VR sims that are currently purchased here and being built as we speak. One of the exciting things is that our students, even after they get out of the official simulators, can come in and try their hand at maneuvers, instrument training, navigation, and even procedural acts in the pattern in coordination with live ATC that's going to be in with the sim through Pilot's Edge. This gives us a capability to truly allow our students to debrief not only in the aircraft with EFBs and Cloud Ahoy debriefing tool, but now to go back to the sim and chair fly the sortie they just flew, incorporating that same debriefing capability and getting their hands in the virtual environment with other students acting in the Vance pattern as well. Another piece we're working on is 360 VR instructional videos. Now, the 560th down at Randolph has done a phenomenal job building a platform and a base for everyone to work from. We'd like to take that step one step farther And what we do is take the 360 VR videos and make it an interactive video where the students have to actually identify where VFR entry is, or identify the cross-check, or be asked a general knowledge question, and they have to actually tap and identify on the screen. As we get into phase 3, we know that the T38s are already able to utilize those 16 VR sims we have in conjunction with the T6s. But our T1s are actually developing a commercialized virtual reality T1 simulator. Now this may look slightly different than what the VR goggles looks like, but instead having actual touchscreen TVs around as they're working on this development. Not only are our T1s working on the T1 simulation, but they're also working on AeroGlass. Now AeroGlass is basically a commercial off-the-shelf HMX that allows to give you augmented reality in your field of view while you fly in the aircraft. Not only will you have course guidance, but you'll also have airspace boundaries and be able to see where traffic avoidance is, and many, many more pieces and boundaries that can be added onto that. Currently, we're working with Altus Air Force Base, who's also interested in this training, and we're planning on doing testing with this capability not only in the next week as we send some of our guys out to research it, but also doing the testing here in the upcoming months of what it actually looks like in the aircraft and the usability in our T1 environment, expecting that someday it'll potentially be in T6 and T38. As you can see at Vance Air Force Base, we are excited about the opportunity to see what innovative processes, technologies, and ideas that we can roll out not only to our training environment, but also command-wide. We truly look forward to working with you and your spark cells as we create a new way forward, not only for our Air Force, but the way that we take war straight to the enemy. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.